Today's episode is on lifting heavy. Well, if this is your occupation, you should really train your body so that every day you're lifting, you're less likely to injure yourself. That would be training your core. And your core is think of the core as a drum. So in a drum, you have a top, you have a bottom, you have a front, you have sides, and you have a back. That's like the body. And if there's a leak in the drum, water would leak out. So you can't have a leak any place. Well, in the body, the drum top is the diaphragm. That's how you breathe. So having a strong diaphragm means that your day-to-day breathing is through your abdomen versus your chest. If you want to see if you're a chest breather versus an abdomen breather, just put your hands on the top and the bottom and take a deep breath in. See which hand predominantly moves. If your bottom hand moves, that's good. That means you're breathing through your abdomen and you're using your diaphragm. The front of this drum is called the transverse abdominis. It's not from doing crunches that you'll get this muscle strong. It's actually from just engaging and understanding how to engage it. Well, a good tip to how to learn if you're to engage it is try pulling your belly button towards your back. When you kind of suck in that belly button, pull it back, you're using your transverse abdominis, and that's the muscle at the front. The bottom muscle is the pelvic floor. This is a kind of band that goes across and keeps your lower organs from dropping out of your pelvis. A good way to strengthen it, believe it or not, is kind of funny. You drink a lot of water and kind of go for a jog and hold that pelvic floor because the bladder is going to be bouncing on that. And by doing so, you'll strengthen that pelvic floor. It's one of the things that I'll give someone that has urinary incontinence because that exercise will help strengthen the floor, which will help keep the urine in. Other muscles are the back, doing certain things like Superman, which is where you lie on your stomach and you lift up your arms and legs. These muscles will start to strengthen, and that's your back. And lastly, the side. The side muscles are called the obliques. Doing something called a plank can help you with that. That's lying on your side with your arm up. All of these are very easily searchable exercises. So you want to strengthen your core if you're going to try to prepare yourself. Then that morning after sleeping all night, maybe do some walking before you get into work. This could help move that spine. As I've said in past episodes, flossing of the spine is what walking does. It helps get those joints moving. So doing some movement before you start to do lifting can help prepare your body for the day. Well, the first principle is to lift with your legs. I know we've heard this, but we forget it a lot. And the reason why I know we forget it is I know people that tell me they injured their back when they were picking up a pen. You see, the principles aren't applying just for when you really are thinking everything, when you're lifting up that other side of the piano, so you lift with your legs and you do everything right. Most back injuries actually happen when we're lifting things lighter. Because when we're lifting something light, we just go over and reach down and quickly pick that up. And we're like, oh, I did something wrong. And they come in to see someone like myself, a chiropractor, and say, I was lifting up a light book and I threw my back out. It's really weird. Well, you forgo those principles when you do that. Key, always do the same thing. Lift with your legs so you bend at the knees. Another principle is keeping the weight close to your body. The further it moves out, physics shows that it'll feel heavier, and it is heavier. Your body has to engage more muscles if it's not close to your body. So some things are awkward, I know that. A lot of things that you can just learn how to do is when you're lifting straight, it's easy to do, but when it's awkward, it may be out. Still keep it close to your body, lifting with your legs and engaging, and if it's really heavy, go short distances and take a moment's rest. Don't wait until all of a sudden your muscles are fatigued, because when the muscles are fatigued, they're protecting the joints of the spine. That's when you'll injure your back. The first 24 hours of injury can be the most key hours. You see, the first part of it is the inflammation is going to start going. And the second thing is A lot of people go to do rest. They hurt themselves, they sit down, they hurt themselves when they get home, they lie on the couch. That's where you'll start to stiffen up. In fact, most people the next morning when they wake up after an injury will feel worse because they stiffened overnight. So let me give you some of the things you could do. Well, let's do the opposite of sitting or lying. Let's keep moving. Light movement, like just ginger walk and then take a moment if you need a break because of your injuries causing the pain. But walking, you'll notice, you'll start to feel a bit better. And make sure you're not using a purse when you go for that walk or a bag, because you really want to move those arms as well as your legs. So going for a walk can help you in the first 24 hours. Controlling the inflammation would be important. So putting an ice pack on. Ice pack will directly on the area can help you. Taking an Epsom salt bath. A good hot bath for 20 minutes with lots of Epsom salts can help with the inflammation in the body. And there are other things like drinking water. I think we talked about how important water is. Well, the more hydrated your body is, the better it can heal. Muscle is 70% water. It makes common sense that you should be drinking water if you have a muscle injury to help it heal. That's the main things. The healthier you eat, the healthier you drink, the more effectively you're moving, the better you'll feel. And if you wake up feeling worse, don't be totally surprised, because some beds are too soft when you're injured. You'll wake up and you'll say, wow, I'm stiff. One of the things you can do to, is either you sleep on the floor, and I give this instruction to a lot of people, sleep right on the hard floor, make yourself as comfortable as possible by propping up the pillows under your knees, give yourself a nice pillow for your head, maybe put a thin, yoga mat or something that you need just to keep a little bit of cushioning, because it will be less comfortable than your bed, but you should wake up feeling better, because your back will actually get the support that it needs from the bed when it's lost the support from the muscles. I also always want to make sure that don't think a massage is always the first thing you should do. You see, your muscles, when you injure your joint, they do some guarding. Guarding is protection to keep that joint from moving. A massage therapist will intuitively go to relax those muscles, and that might not be the right thing for that injury, because relaxing the muscles takes the guarding away, and you'll come up, get off the table like feeling worse than you went on. So there's some things you can do in the first 24 hours. I wouldn't recommend it. You see, the first part of that engagement is learning how to engage your muscles. They don't make you engage your muscles more. They actually start to take the support out of it because you're feeling it with this belt. You also will more likely end up lifting something heavier than you're really supposed to because of this false sense of security you have with the belt. I don't recommend belts like that. However, I do diagnose sometimes something called pelvic instability. Pelvic instability is when your pelvis is still injured, and it can be from a car accident 20 years ago, it could be from giving birth, it could be from a fall that you did recreationally, or it could be from sitting and being a little bit overweight, so your pelvis starts to open up. Pelvic instability is actually an effective way to treat a low back problem by stabilizing it using a belt. So we'll use a belt much lower than your low back. It's actually on your pelvis. So I'm not saying that no belt is good for you, but a belt like you're talking about, which the weightlifters might use around the low back, so that if you're heavy lifting every day, is not a protective way. I see a lot of people that will come in injured, and it's because they did that heavier load they should have done because they felt more secure than they really are. Taking Tylenol to relieve pain for short term can be effective. It could help even the area heal in some ways. However, anything long term, and that means taking Tylenol more than 24 hours, can actually work against you. It can slow down the healing process. See, Tylenol is going to give you a false sense because it's dealing with the symptoms. You have a pain for a reason. You've traumatized the tissue. Or maybe it's even nothing that you did one day, but you have low back pain over years of sitting. Again, if you're taking Tylenol, you're turning off a signal that's important for your body, and your body's trying to say, take care of me. And when at first it may just whisper with a little bit of a incidence here and there, but eventually it screams. And that's when you may need more than just a Tylenol to get rid of the pain. Remember, there's a signal there. Pain is not a bad thing. You wouldn't remove the fire alarm because you were having fires, or, that's your signal that there's some danger. Well, pain is the same for the body. It's more important to find out what's causing the low back pain and moving into the next thing. So for the first 24 hours, you need a little bit of Tylenol or Advil, go ahead, but not really beyond that.